Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim and today I'm here with my friend Michelle. She's going to be demonstrating the postures while I teach. We're filming today at the Samata in Bali. Stoked to be here and thank you to the people at Samata for hosting us and allowing us to film in this beautiful location. Let's begin the practice today in Supta Baddha Konasana. So lie down onto your back, take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide apart. So I often like to start the practice lying down on your back because it's a good way to ground yourself and to start to let go and open up the areas that are chronically tight and gripped up. So just feel the weight of your shoulders start to drop down. Let your hips start to open. And then normally when we breathe, we tend to just breathe shallow breaths throughout the day, especially if we get stressed out and we sit with poor posture. We're just breathing little tiny shallow breaths into the lungs. So start to shift gears with your breath. Allow the body to be oxygenated with your smooth, steady breathing. And feel that the breath can draw down deeper into your lungs. Good, then take your arms up to the ceiling. Hook your thumbs. And as you inhale, slowly let your arms start to fall back. As you reach your arms back, keep your back ribs pressed down into the floor, right at about the bra line. Lengthen through your tailbone out of your lower back. Breathe your whole spine longer as you stretch through your arms. Then bring your arms back up. Change the hook, take the other thumb on top. And as you inhale, slowly let your arms fall back again. As your arms go back, the bottom of your rib cage will want to tip up to the ceiling. Instead, activate your core a little bit, keep those back ribs pressed down, and keep your front ribs tipped towards your frontal hip bones. Breathe. Then bring your arms back up. Bring your knees together. Hug your right knee into your chest and stretch your left leg out along the floor. Reach through your left heel, pretend like your foot's up against the wall, and then roll your left inner thigh down towards the floor. Change legs, hug your left knee into your chest, stretch your right leg out. As you push out through your right heel, turn the foot so that all your toes are pointing straight up, all four corners of your knee straight up to the ceiling, or sky in our case. Good, now hug both knees into your chest. Opposite arm leg stretch to warm up and to activate the core. Bring your legs into tabletop position. Plant your hands at your side. Without your hips twisting, keeping your pelvis in neutral, slowly stretch your right leg forward. Good, you don't have to lower it much at all as you're warming up. Keep the tailbone long, the lower back long. Rebend your right knee and slowly stretch your left leg forward. Keep the low back long, keep the neck long. Rebend that knee and stretch the right leg forward. Now see if you can lower it maybe an inch further without your lower back lifting. Rebend and slowly stretch your left leg forward. Bring it back up. Now let's add the arms. Take your arms straight up to the ceiling or sky. And as you inhale, slowly stretch your right leg forward and your left arm back. Now see if you can increase the range of motion, reach further, without the spine lifting up or feeling like it shrinks into itself. Stretch your spine even longer. Then bring your arm and your leg back up. Inhale, change sides, stretch your left leg forward, and slowly start to reach your right arm back. And come back up. Inhale, change sides. Exhale, 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 back up. Okay, now last part, let's wake up the rectus abdominis, crunch up towards your knees and send your arms forward. Good. Squeeze your top abs into your low abs into your top abs, squeeze them tight, and then stretch your left leg forward at a 45-degree angle. Keep the abs engaged. Stretch your right leg out to meet it. And hold there for 5, 4, abs tight, 3, 2, 1.5, 1. Good, bend your knees, set your feet down. Open up your arms like cactus arms, take your feet the width of your mat, and let your knees swivel over to the left, like windshield wiper legs. Breathe down towards your belly again. Use the full space of the lungs. Bring your knees back up and over to the right. Bring your knees back up. Hug your knees in. If it feels okay to on your back, rock and roll back and forth a couple of times and then up to seated. If you have a lower back issue, I'd recommend just rolling over to your side instead. Then come into child's pose. So in child's pose, set your knees so they're just wide enough for your ribs to fit in between. Sit back towards your heels and lengthen through the sides of your ribs towards your hands as your hips reach back towards your heels. Press your hands down evenly and straighten your elbows without tensing the muscles at the back of your neck. Then come up onto your hands and your knees. Inhale. Curl your toes under and stretch back into your first down dog. Reach down even into your hands again. Rotate from your triceps down towards the floor so you feel space across the back of your neck. Then with a little bend in your knees in this first down dog, tip from your hips like you're being lifted up from the hip crease up towards the ceiling and draw it back off of your wrists. Create more space for your spine. Now keeping your left knee bent, stretch your right leg towards straight. Change legs. Stretch both legs as straight as you can without your back rounding. Might not be straight at all, that's okay. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Put a little bend in your knees, just let your head drop. Walk your hands over to the outside of your right foot. If it bothers your lower back at all, bend your knees more. Walk your hands over to the left. Walk your hands back to center. Then place your hands on your hips and come up to stand. Okay, let's do a few sun salutations to warm up and get the blood flowing better. With your feet together, inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, lengthen out. Step back, one leg at a time into plank pose. Open up across your chest as you hold here in plank, but make sure your belly doesn't sink. Keep your abs engaged. Then shift forward and lower all the way down to your belly with control, slow. For this first one, stretch your arms back and we'll do a modified locust. Lift your shoulders, head, chest up, but look down at the floor. Press the tops of your feet down and spin your outer thighs towards the floor until it feels like your knees are pointing straight down instead of turning out to the side. Then draw from your navel up to your heart. Put your hands underneath your elbows. Spread wide across your collarbones. Keep getting longer. Forget about how high you can come up. Instead, just work on creating space for your spine. Then lower your chest back down onto the mat. With strong abs, lift up onto hands and knees. And then stretch back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, flow with the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Inhale, hold in your plank. And as you exhale, lower slow with control to your mat. Point your toes back. Inhale into cobra position, hands underneath the elbows. Get as long as you can. Strong back muscles. Then hold here or come up into your first up dog. Roll your chest higher up into the back bend. If you have lower back issues, better to work on your cobra. That will strengthen your back and help to fix it and make it more healthy. If you have a healthy back and you can back bend like this, that's cool too. Stretch back to downward facing dog. Good job. Now step your right foot up by your right thumb. Lower your left knee down to the floor. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog, stretch back. Step your left foot up to your left thumb. Lower your back knee and inhale, raise your arms up. Moving meditation. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. So one of the reasons why you feel so good when you practice is because you experience a little bit of flow. You lose the mind for a moment and you're focused, you've connected the mind into the body instead of the thinking mind, that is. Lost that. Keep the space across the back of your neck and keep rotating your triceps down. Be in your body. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, sit back. Strong chair, strong in the legs, feel it. Shift the weight into your heels. Sit your hips back a little bit deeper, like there's a chair behind you you're going to sit into. Now lift up tall through the sides of your ribs. Stretch your arms, energize the arms without tensing the neck. Come up to stand and bring your hands to your heart. Sun salute B. Inhale into chair pose. Bend your knees and sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Chest open, shift forward and lower slowly to elbow height this time. If it's too much to hold there, just lie down on your belly. Upward facing dog from here, or cobra. Down dog, exhale, glide back. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. Step your back foot a little bit closer and turn the heel down. Now hug your right hip back into the midline, and as you inhale, come up for warrior one. Lift from your belly, reach through your back heel. Exhale, downward facing dog, stretch back. If you'd like, you can add a vinyasa for upper body strength. Otherwise, just go right back to down dog. Step your left foot up to your left thumb. Step your back foot a little closer and turn the heel down. Hug your left hip back into the midline, and then as you lift your belly, come up strong through the midline. Good. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Optional vinyasa, or just stretch straight back to down dog, your call. Oh, Michelle's getting after it today. Okay, you might want to too. Glide back to down dog. From down dog, let's do a couple of hip openers. So walk your feet all the way to the front of your mat. And as you inhale, make a flat back, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees, sit back into your chair. Deep in your chair, strong in the chair, feel it in your legs. Keep the space for your neck though. Now keep your arms up, come all the way up to stand. Reach through your heels, grow the legs longer and the trunk taller through the arms. Then bring your hands to your heart. Let's try a balance pose now. Bring your right heel up for tree pose, Vrikshasana. Then join your palms together. And if you're steady, we'll try to do a little arm stretch. Interlock your fingers with the right index finger on top, turn the palms inside out, stretch your arms forward, and then as you draw from your navel back to your spine, raise your arms up to the ceiling. Try not to let your waist sink forward. Good, bring your arms back down and lower your leg back down. Change sides. Bring your left heel up onto the inside of your right thigh. Interlock your fingers with the left index finger on top. Turn your palms inside out, stretch the arms, and then slowly raise your arms up. Keep your waist drawing back. Grow as tall as you can through the reach of your leg, trunk, and arms. Bring your arms back down. Lower your leg back down. Good, then turn to your right and redo the goddess pose because we never ever do it. So we're gonna try it out. Separate your feet about 3.5 feet apart. Turn your big toes out halfway. Bring your hands to the top of your pelvis, right at the iliac crest. And then bend your knees out to the side. Imagine someone had hooked your inner knees, they're pulling them away from each other. Then stretch your arms out to the side. Keep drawing the inner knees away from each other. Take your right arm straight up. Do modification here with the arms. Take your left hand onto your lower back behind you. Then bend your right elbow and stretch the hand in between your blades. If you can sneak your left hand higher up your back without crushing on your shoulder, then go ahead. Keep those inner knees wide. Draw your waist back. Be tall through your lower back. Release your arms and stand back tall again. Good. Then bend the knees out to the side, hands at the top of the pelvis. When you bend the knees out to the side, don't let the front of the pelvis sink. Keep it lifted up. Then spread your arms out to the side, expand across your chest. Take your left arm up, bring your right hand onto your lower back. Then bend your left elbow and stretch the hands towards each other. If possible, wiggle that right hand higher up, but make sure that the front of the shoulder stays open. You're not letting the human head roll inward. Spread your arms back out to the side. Straighten your legs and stand tall. Then clasp your hands behind your back. Take your feet a little wider apart. And then fold forward in between your legs. Good, start to stretch your knuckles up and overhead, but keep your shoulder blades drawing towards each other and out of your neck. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come back up to stand. Good, turn your left foot out and step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa. Take a vinyasa means do chaturanga, low plank, then up dog, then down dog. But if it bothers your lower back or your shoulder to do any of those movements, you can just stretch straight back to down dog until your body starts to get healthier. Step your right foot for warrior one again. Inhale, come up. Now bring your hands to your heart and spin your back heel up. Lean your chest out over your knee, and then twist, take your left elbow to your knee. When you go to hook your elbow onto your knee, make sure that the chest keeps reaching forward. Try not to let your chest sink onto your knee. Breathe steady through your nose. Then bring your fingertips down to the floor. Step your back foot a little bit closer and straighten your right leg as best you can. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold deeper. Bring your head towards your ankle. Good. Hold here in Parsvottanasana, 5 breaths. Stretch even through your feet. Instead of letting your weight sink into your right foot, reach even through your right foot, but then draw your right thigh up off of your shin. Inhale, come back up into a flat back position, heart forward. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa, your call. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale the hands to your heart. Spin your back heel up and start to lean your chest out over your knee, keeping your heart open. Then hook your elbow to your knee. Once you get the elbow to hook, the upper back tends to round. Instead, reach the chest forward again, So the thoracic spine is being lengthened as you're twisting. That's really good for your spine. If you sink into the twist, then you're just going to be twisting from the same vertebra over and over again. Over time, that's going to burn out those joints of the spine. So we want to, as we go to twist, think of elongating through the whole spine. Very important. Then bring your fingertips to the mat. Step your back foot a little bit closer and turn the heel down. Inhale, come up on your fingers and reach your heart forward. Get as much length as you can. Exhale, fold deeper. Bring your head towards your ankle. Reach down evenly through the four corners of your left foot, but draw your left thigh bone up off of your shin so it's not just hanging. Let the back of the skull drop down. Breathe space into the back of your leg. Then just feel the tension that you're holding in your hamstrings. See if your breath can help to let go of some of that tension. So sometimes we hold on to all this stuff that we don't need to in our body. And that's why at the end of the practice we feel so good, because we get that time to release all the stuck energy in the body. All your emotional experience gets stored in your body. So when you move, you get an opportunity to release some of that emotional charge. Inhale, flat back. Step back to downward facing dog or out of vinyasa if you're working on upper body strength. Now bring your feet together. Let's work on the core a little bit. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. Take your right arm up. Now if it bothers your wrist or your shoulder to hold in side plank, just set your knee down until you start to get stronger. Otherwise, stack your right hip on top of your left, reach through your legs to your heels, and let your head lean back into alignment with your spine as your navel draws up. Tailbone long. Downward dog, glide back, nice and smooth. Change sides, bring feet together. Roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Raise your left arm up. Balance your left hip forward on top of your right. Activate the legs. Pretend like your heels are against the wall and you're pushing into it. Then grow tall and long through your spine, like you're reaching out through your crown. Breathe. Downward dog, stretch back. Good job. Then shift into plank pose. Come into forearm plank. 10 breaths. 1, 2, collarbones broad. 3, navel in and up. 4, lengthen through your tail and look down towards the floor so that the neck is long. Reach down through the big toe mound, second toe mound, space in between, and tighten your quadriceps, the muscles above your knees. Firm your buttocks towards your heels. What number are we on? I think 3. No, I'm just kidding. 2 more breaths here. Stay with it. Good job. Now set your hips down onto the floor. Come to Sphinx pose. Open the front of the chest without narrowing your lower back. Then bend your right knee, and if possible, reach back with your right hand to take a hold of your foot. If it's too much stretch on your knee, don't worry about it. Just keep the knee bent and keep both elbows down on the floor. Over time, as you keep practicing, the quads will become stretchier. Your body will become more flexible and you'll be able to grab your foot. But don't force it if it's not coming today. In yoga, we want to practice non-violence. We're taking care of the body instead of trying to jam the body into stuff it doesn't want to do. Just remember that. Change sides. Release the foot. And if possible, reach back with your left hand to grab a hold of your foot. It shouldn't feel like you're pinching in the lower back. Lift up through the lower back. Stretch through the left knee out of your waist. Good, then release your foot. Set your elbow back down. Okay, nice. Now lower your chest back down onto the mat. Clasp your hands behind your back. Then lift your shoulders, head, chest, legs up off the mat. Everything simultaneously as the hip bones reach down. In this one, less about how high you can come up, I want to see how long you can get. Then hold here for 5 breaths, or bend your knees, bring the heels towards the hands, and if your feet are right there and you can grab your feet without tweaking your knee or your lower back, do it, and just hold the feet. If you feel motivated to go deeper, like you're being called deeper into the pose, then you can stretch the feet up and back more. Otherwise, just hold the feet in this original position. Then lower yourself back down. Great job. Rest one cheek on the mat. Take a breath. Change position in your head. Rest the other cheek on the mat. Good. Then make your way into a seated position. Come into Dandasana. Sit with your legs stretched straight out in front of you. Sit up straight and tall here. Then cross your legs at the shins. Simple cross-leg position. Crisscross applesauce. And twist to your right. Left hand to the outside of your knee. Right hand behind you. Come back to center. Twist to your left. Remember in the standing twist when it was important to wake up the spine muscles to elongate the spine? Super important in a seated twist. You're going to teach your spine to twist healthier, so you'll be less prone to throwing out your back, less prone to back injuries and back pain. But important that you're seated upright. You might even need to sit on a block or a cushion if you're newer to yoga and you tuck under in this position. You can always look in front of a mirror to see that the spine is upright. Come back to center. Good. Now lie down on your back for your final hip opener. So this is a modified pigeon. Bend your knees, cross your right ankle over your left knee, thread the needle, hug your left knee towards your chest. You can hold the back of the leg. If you're more flexible, you can grab a hold of the shin if you need to get a stretch. But imagine that I had hooked ropes up to your hips and I was pulling your hips evenly out of your back. And your right thigh is turning from inside out, externally rotating. Keep those two actions as you bring the left knee closer towards you. Keep the hips lengthened out of the lower back. Shoulders relaxed, neck long. 5 breaths here. Then change the cross. Good, then uncross your legs and hug both knees into your chest. Stretch your legs out for corpse pose, Shavasana. Turn your palms up at your side, let your feet fall open. Totally relax now. Let your body drop. Just check back in with your breath. Feel the natural rhythm of the breath. Let each exhalation take you just a little bit deeper into Shavasana. Then slowly start to prepare your body for movement. Maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend your knees and roll over to your right side. Nice and calm, no rush. Then press yourself up to seated. So sit up tall, with your eyes closed, scan your body. Take a moment to feel the shift that comes at the end of your practice, how good the body feels, how light you feel. Then join your palms together. Thank you. Namaste. All right, so I hope you enjoyed some of the principles of movement that we worked on today, ideas and philosophy for how you practice. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought, and maybe videos that you want to see in the future, I'm happy to share with you. Just let me know what you think. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out Michelle on Instagram, @MeFroggy, and you can find me on Instagram @TimSenesi Yoga. All right, I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great day.